It's not disastrous, but it is disappointing. FBC Firebreak has some neat co-op ideas, but ultimately, it feels like Remedy wasn't able to finish the job. There are some fun ideas trapped in the middle of FBC Firebreak, but it feels more like an early access title. I played the game for over 15 hours, and even with a group of friends on comms, it struggles to gel. Firebreak feels best when you work together on the job simulator aspects. Firebreak is misunderstood as a first-person shooter filled with moment-to-moment monster-slaying action. What I see is a unique core to the gameplay that requires the heroes to work together to fix stuff and progress through environments as a team. The hiss monsters are just the pressure. Sure, I still want that FPS combat and progression, but it feels like Remedy struggled with this balance. FBC Firebreak's very identity. The basic setup is this. Wrench Dude needs to fix things. Water Kit Hero has to keep you cool, put out fires, and even keep you clean of nasty goop or radiation statuses. Shock-powered Firebreaker needs to zap electrical panels back to life. If that doesn't sound fun and you just want combat and gunplay, you might as well pack it up and head for another game. Firebreak does have a combat focus, but it doesn't feel great. That's due to a combination of the online networking feel, enemy design and animation, and progression. The guns you get feel okay, but it's not like they're unique. There's no icicle pistol or goop-powered grenade launcher. Even if there was, the way the enemies react seemingly isn't advanced enough to make it feel like more than just clearing the hordes. But you know what is fun? Cleaning up messy puddles of fiery gasoline, clearing a blocked hallway filled with weird pink goop, igniting a portable furnace, and using it to shatter frost anomalies. If you can get 3 friends on private voice comms and get them to learn the basics, you might be surprised that it's fun to work together and clean stuff up. This is probably because Power Wash Simulator was an actual inspiration for the small 40-person development team at Remedy. They should have leaned into that more than anything. Now, before I continue, of course, I would have loved to have some team-based, co-op, control game that let me use kinetic powers to throw objects at enemies in combination with gunplay. But there's definitely something here with the cleaning.
I feel the need to clean.
This is where things get messy for Firebreak. And by the way, it's hard to feel like you're working together because you have to rely on a ping system. There's no in-game voice chat or text chat. It shouldn't have gone out the door without an option. I know Remedy wanted to make the game accessible, so you could of course level up and select any of the 3 hero-type kits, Splash, Shock, and Wrench, but this means most major mission objectives can be solved in the most uninteresting way. If I can't put out a fire, I can just walk up to it and pad it out by inputting a code. This code-punching gameplay is overused in the first place. It works, but it's not that fun. And it's made worse by mixing it into the hero gameplay, allowing them to bypass each other's skills. In loose, ideal terms, each level should have been uniquely designed to keep all 3 kit types busy. Sometimes it just feels like your role isn't that important. Or worse, because you're not forced into roles, you end up missing out on some key gameplay. Making you focus on leveling up a specific hero kit and allowing team composition to be any class creates an imbalance in the gameplay, and perhaps most importantly, level designs that don't feel filled with enough cool stuff to do. This overall identity crisis can be seen in the fact that the mission, Paper Chase, has a boss at the end, and some unique job-based mechanics, but none of the other 4 missions have a boss. That wasn't totally a clueless decision. The missions are split into 3 clearance zones. The idea is the final room becomes the most challenging and interesting. Unfortunately, it just feels a bit haphazard, and they aren't all equally engaging and fun. In the mission Ground Control, it's a beautiful Helldivers 2 inspired rocket launch. Capture control of the area to safeguard it and then launch it. Paper Chase has this huge sticky note boss. You have to reconnect some power cables to shock it temporarily for a damage phase. But then in Freezer Duty, you throw some corrupted mannequins into a ski lift. It's kind of funny actually, but it doesn't feel very engaging. When other missions have a huge boss or a rocket launch sequence. Also, you've got to fill barrels and send them zip-lining into an incinerator to shut it down. Again, because these final level job moments aren't 100% dependent on the unique hero skills, results vary, and you need a team that's paying attention. Meanwhile, the combat needs are constant, but it sort of has that it's fine, I guess, kind of feel. You use both your tools and weapons to fight. So while I prefer using the revolver, you're able to do things like use the splash kit to push back and soak enemy crowds. Then you can toss a shock grenade and pop them like popcorn. Or if your teammate has the jump kit, they can light them up too. The idea ideas are there, it just doesn't come together very well. In particular, with the progression. You can level up your gear and research build perks, but it doesn't feel that impactful. They feel more like subtle, passive upgrades than something visually meaningful, or upgrades that are clearly felt in the gameplay. Your hero kits come with an ability and an ultimate superpower. It doesn't feel great that you have to wait to unlock and figure these out, but you also don't really level them up and see them become more powerful. Instead, your build powers come from the research skill perks. There is power in there, but it feels passive until you reach the top tiers. You can do things like revive teammates faster, or use kill perks to recharge your ultimate. However, because of the hit and miss engagement of doing the jobs, it just sort of fizzles out. While I really appreciate the ability to quickly hop into a match with randoms, it doesn't work well without voice communications, or at least a much stronger visual and audio ping system. Like many of these co-op style online games, sometimes you get someone who's absolutely clutch and role-playing in character, and sometimes you get a new player that has the same hero kit that you do and is just wandering around confused. Another huge technical miss is the inability to crawl around or spectate when you're downed. It doesn't feel right, but it's also pretty boring to sit there and hope a teammate notices you. The whole progression is built around several things: hopping into a mission to gain experience, an upgrade currency, and gathering unique research points. You have to rank up each kit separately to allow you to utilize more than one single perk, effectively your build. Then you use the yellow requisition currency to engage with the battle pass to unlock both vanity items and your gear. Huge shout out to Remedy for quickly reacting after launch and separating the need to purchase vanity items to progress your battle pass just to unlock a new gun or a grenade. Battle passes are a contagion of modern gaming. The idea is you'll spend some average amount of time to unlock, let's say, a grenade. Sure, it's tolerable in games like Helldivers 2, but as you can tell, I hate it. It takes you out of the game to use some battle pass system that's designed around how much time they get you to spend playing the game, and if they're lucky, you purchase more battle passes. The alternative? How about you just let me upgrade the gun and grenade I clearly like to use? Gamers have loved this for decades of gaming. I do like cool vanity items, for the record. Unfortunately, in Firebreak, most of the cleaner outfits and guns feel limited, perhaps even rushed. Outfit variety mostly feels like suiting up a colorful welder or firefighter. At launch, the gun skins are only in the deluxe add-on pass to make matters worse. The spray paint tags almost have the most character of anything in the game. It would have been cool if you could have used those as decals for your suits and guns or something, and Firebreak just needs a lot more of that style. Anyway, in Firebreak, it's a rare and bold move from Remedy to break up that battle pass, even if it was a bit of an emergency patch under pressure. Regarding the grind itself, missions have a higher tier corrupted setting. Each location has its own unique corrupted currency that you need to chase to upgrade your perks. That part of the design is mostly fine, as it gives you some purpose to explore the different missions. In the corrupted missions, you might get a possessed post office box that causes the air to freeze, more often slowing you down. Other corrupted items might make enemies move super fast or give them more armor. It's more difficult depending on your team's skill level, but it's tough to get a team that's going to focus on chasing down the item, learning how to destroy it, and remove the mission debuff. Ironically, it perfectly highlights why the team needs a built-in voice chat, as well as better objective and ping systems. So look, there's a lot to unpack. I could get into how status effects like goop, frost, or water are kind of interesting, or I could break down all the various weapon types and upgrades, or how each superpower works. Likewise, how the vibes of Control need to be much stronger with more identity, the characters, interactions, voice lines. However, the final verdict is clear for Firebreak. This is a 6 out of 10 type game. If you're into the job aspects, there's some redeeming gameplay. It's just short-lived and pretty much requires you to do 2 things. 1, you need to teach yourself the basics of the game and spend a few hours powering through. Firebreak lacks any real tutorial, no cutscenes even. I truly think some players don't realize that you can heal in the showers, or that they may have specific jobs like turning the lights on or clearing goop in the hallways. Secondly, you really need to get with a team of some friends who just want to chill and voice chat and work together. Without those things, it can be unfulfilling or frustrating when you can't even get someone to run over and power up an electrical panel. Even if they did, you can just punch in a code and do it yourself. If you can find friends that want to roleplay as Federal Bureau of Control Cleaners, there's a little something there. Some moments of chaos can be pretty funny. It's not a ton to chew on though. You might get 10 hours out of it. If you're a completionist and dying to level everything up, maybe 20 hours. But it's a lot of repetition. Now, I actually don't want long-winded, grindy games. That's less of an issue. It's more the feeling of progression and the experiences on the job and in combat. They don't feel deep enough. It needs more mission structure. For example, to launch the missile, I should have to clear an entire control room of gasoline and fire, while my handy teammate fixes the pipes nearby, and the other teammate is standing by waiting to shock the control panel missiles back to life. Firebreak even has a barrel carrying mechanic, so loading the missile with a payload could actually be part of it, as we've seen in Helldivers 2. Remedy says they intend to add more content for free, as well as ongoing patches to address feedback. But adding a few new cool missions, guns, and perks won't make it feel more engaging at the core. It needs a lot more tuning. For me, give me more of those job simulator vibes. What do you think of the game? Let me know if you've played it or what you think of all the reviews out there. Also, please share the video or drop someone a DM if you like the vid. If it gets some views, we'll be back with more videos. And if you missed it, I'm Fran Mirabella III, aka FM3. Take care, and don't forget, you can always find me live streaming if you want to drop by.
Careful where you point that thing.